Good Thursday, everybody. Hope all is well with you and yours. Thanks for stopping by. Also, check out my YouTube music channel. I'm Jamie Totten, and this is Here's the Thing. Today, the WNBA playoff, and of course, the election watch. Okay, I want to start though with the little weather. I know I'm not a weatherman, but I do listen to Big Al Roker. Al is the man. He usually give it to you straight with the weather, buddy. So Big Al is saying that this Hurricane Helen is going to be a big one. Big as in 2 years. You know, that's what Al said. And I know that people in Florida are used to storms, but they are getting bigger and bigger. You know, these storms are no joke. You know, they've never been a joke, but they're just getting bigger and bigger now. For some reason, and we know the reason is global warming, regardless of what some folks try to say. But, you know, global warming is a real thing, and if you don't believe it, you're just not paying attention, or you just don't want to believe it. So I pray for everybody that's in the path of Hurricane Helen. Hope everybody take the proper precautions and stay safe. Okay. Now, let's start with the WNBA first round of the playoffs. The New York Liberty swept the Atlanta Dream 2-0. The Las Vegas Aces swept the Seattle Storm 2-0. Now, those teams, the Liberty and the Aces, will advance to the semifinals. The New York Liberty, they are a tough team. Yes, they are. And that will be a great matchup, the Liberty against the Aces. The Aces, who are the two-time back-to-back champs for the WNBA. The last 2 years, they won it back-to-back, and they have Player of the Year, Asia Wilson. Three-time Player of the Year, Asia Wilson. You know, the Liberty were 32-8 in the regular season. And the Las Vegas Aces, who are the defending champs, like I said, were 27-13. Now, the semifinals are the best of 5. So, you know, these two teams met in last year's WNBA finals. Yes, they did. And as the Aces beat the Liberty 3-1. Walked away with the championship. So, you know, that was a pretty good series, although they only won one game. I know one game was won by the Aces by like 1 point. So there's going to be a tough matchup. And it's going to be pretty tough for the Aces. You know, the Aces are led by three-time Player of the Year, like I said, Asia Wilson. But they have Chelsea Gray, who's a bad girl. She can really pass the ball, and she can score also. And they have Kelsey Plum. So it's going to be, that's that big three. Wilson, Gray, and Plum. And the Liberty has a big three of their own. You know, they have Sabrina Ionescu. They have Brianna Stewart, and big girl Jonquel Jones. That girl, she's tough, buddy. I'm telling you, that's going to be a great matchup between Asia Wilson and Jonquel Jones. They're going to be going at it. I can't wait to see that matchup. But I'm going to give the edge to the Liberty, because in my opinion, the Liberty, I think they are on a serious mission, you know. they want to get some get back because, like I said, the Aces took them out last year in the finals, 3-1. So they're coming back for revenge, I'm sure. Okay. Now, a game that I watched last night was the Indiana Fever, who was in a must-win situation. They had to win. You either win or you go home, buddy. So if you can't win, you got to go home. If you do win, Connecticut, it'll be 1-1, and then there'll be a game 3. And the winner would take all in the game 3. But first, the Fever have to win tonight to stay alive. Okay, the top team in this matchup is the number 3 seed, Suns, Connecticut Suns. And the Connecticut Suns were 28-12 during the regular season, and the Indiana Fever, the number 6 seed. The Fever were 20-20. So the first quarter was pretty sloppy, pretty testy. Clock seemed a little rattled and disjointed, and arguing with players, arguing with refs. Even had some guy ushered out by security. I don't know what he might have said to her or what he did, but I know he was escorted out of there. I bet you he won't say it again. Caitlin Clark kicking him out of there, kicking him out of the stadium already. You got to go, buddy. So yeah, Caitlin pointed him out. Security went around there and said, "Come on, buddy. You got to go with me. You can't stay." And it's just the first quarter. That happened in the first quarter. That was crazy, man. Yeah, the Fever, they were frustrated. You know, they were frustrated with the refs. They felt like they weren't getting the calls that they should have been getting, and the calls were going the other way too much. Okay, so still the game was close, though. At halftime, it was only 41-34. So it was only a 7-point lead, as bad as the Fever had played. But Caitlin Clark, she wasn't playing bad during the first half. And so the third quarter started with the Fever making a quick run at them. And they briefly took the lead. But the Sun were up by 9 going into the fourth quarter, you know. But the Fever, they kept fighting. And with 4 minutes left, Clark, who had been playing pretty good, hit a 3 to take a 1-point lead. All right, that was 4 minutes left in the game. The Fever were up 1 on a big shot by Caitlin Clark from 3. So at 3 minutes left, the game was tied at 73. But the Fever, will they live to see another day or fight another day? Will they go home? After 2 threes from the Suns and 2 late turnovers from the Fever, the Fever's chance was pretty much done. You know, they wouldn't be able to pull this one out. They tried, though. They put up a fight. I got to give it to them. Caitlin Clark, she's a testy young lady, but she plays with a lot of passion. She's not joking. She's out there to get her thing done. But she had a good year, but they weren't tough enough to beat Connecticut. You know, Connecticut was the favorite for sure. Most of the Fever's team, this was our first playoff. The starting 5 was our first playoff. All of them was our first playoffs. So they're young. They're raw, but they'll get better. Clark led all scorers with 25 points, six rebounds, and 9 assists. Okay, so yesterday, this is a little election watch. Yesterday, Vice President Harris was stomping in Pittsburgh, PA. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She laid out an economic plan, a 12-point plan, where everything makes sense. None of this pie in the sky stuff like I'm gonna build a wall in Mexico, we're gonna pay for it, and none of that stuff. You know, none of that gloom and doom stuff that the Republicans have been spewing for I don't know how long. I know I'm tired of hearing it. She talked about inclusion. She showed compassion, empathy, and optimism for what the future could look like, what the future could be. And the future could be really, really good if we put the right people in place. You know, she's talking about cutting through the red tape to get things built and get things done. You know, she's talking about, she was standing up there talking without attacking anybody, without putting towns and the townspeople at risk by telling stupid lies and, you know. But still, there are some who are going to say they need to hear more in order to back her. As if what's coming, as if what they are hearing coming from the other side isn't reason enough. That should be reason enough for you to want to back Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. Just by hearing what's coming out of Trump and Vance's mouth. I mean, that should be enough right there. But hey, I don't know. So, Vice President Harris, you know, she grew up the same as a lot of us did, you know, parents working hard to raise us, and no silver spoons, no big inheritance, just putting in the work to take care of yourself and your family. That's how she grew up, the same as most people, you know, middle class people. As for what's going on with the Republicans, we already know what's going on with them. More lies, more hate, more tax on immigrants that are here legally, you know. The difference between the vice president and Trump becomes more and more clear, more and more pronounced each and every day. You know, the closer we get to election time, the more unrattled these people get. You know, they're just, I don't know, man, unhinged, I guess you can call them. Unhinged is the word that I was looking for. So if you don't see, and if you don't see the big difference between Vice President and Trump, if you don't see it, you need to open your eyes. If you don't hear it, you need to open your ears. She has grown, and she has grown over the last 4 years into a highly competent, highly qualified commander-in-chief. So, on one hand, you got Vice President Harris, and Governor Walz. On the other hand, Trump and Vance. Is that really it's not a big decision for me to make. chaos and confusion and lies and cheating over someone who's trying to look out for the people. So, and then you have the other cat who wants to stay out of jail, and his partner Vance will say anything to get into power. He says he makes up stories. We don't need that. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Let's keep moving forward, and let's get Vice President Harris and Governor Walz into the White House. Let's do this. Let's keep on keeping on. Okay, thanks so much for stopping by again, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.